Why would you not build a Soul Ripper? What else could you possibly spend resources on?
Five brass boys.
Alright, take it back. Just build those. Alright, here we go. Yudi versus Turin in Game 3 of the semifinals of the 2023 Spring Invitational. Yudi is up 2 games, and it will be an Aeon versus Sarah on 20km MapGen. This was Yudi's map pick.
This is...
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be a pretty messy game, because... Well, first of all, let me say, it's very hard to see the maxes because of how bright the map is, but aside from that... well, I guess if you go into a player POV, it's a lot easier. 140k reclaim, what?
What?
Oh, that's true. Nice. That's a classic ice map. Ice maps always give a very nice amount of reclaim, and it's 140k, but it's all spread out across the entire map, so it's actually tough to get it as well.
Yeah, you just have to build so many engineers and send them so far. Like, you actually have to care about these mountains in the middle because there's like a particularly large amount of rocks around them.
True. With the reclaim added, and considering the fact that the ASU spawns have only a few maxes around them and all the other maxes are spread out, it's gonna be a massively painful map to play. Like, macro-wise, it's... Because to start, you're very low in resources, but there's lots of reclaim. You have to drop all the expansions, you have to defend all the expansions versus enemy drops. There's gonna be raids everywhere, but you also need to attack at the same time because there's so much mass. It's just gonna be a pain to play. But luckily they have to play and not we. Don't forget to change the scene again. Did you change the scene?
I did. Are you proud of me?
Thank God.
I did my job once. That's all you get. Next game, no scene change. We're gonna be looking at the bracket forever.
Nice.
I don't know, but what's like the objective here if you're either of these players? Like, everything is kind of on your side of the map. It's all pretty safe. It's just really spread out. Is this just a case of drop a bunch of stuff, scale really fast, and go get yourself T3 air?
I think you have to do that, but you also have to be aggressive. Like, I can easily see Turin making multiple Naltahas. Judith will make multiple gunships while going T3 air at the same time, because you can afford both most likely, and you will just want to secure your own side, but everything is so vulnerable to tech 2 air raids and to also tech 2 air drops. Like for example, the harp rush from Yudi, and if you drop random harps everywhere, it's gonna be insanely annoying to deal with it. Although, funnily enough, harps are not that strong on this map. Well, they are if you're dropped, but because they can't go through water, that's actually pretty impactful. Because, for example, autumns, they can go to the left and right side, right, through the water pond, but harps can't. Although there's on the bottom right, that pond, there's a small ledge where harps can move through.
Turin's like, why would this man possibly want to scout by transport? I'm so confused.
He must be sightseeing.
Meanwhile, Yudi has built a single inti that Turin will now spot.
It will actually kill the transport. That's a great inti.
It's like Turin is like just not aware of the danger he was under there for a minute.
The thing is, like, this only delayed the transport by Yudi by a tiny bit, and it will kill the transport from Turin, not before the engineers, but it just means Turin has to build a new transport, which is very annoying.
Those are expensive.
They are. I'm also surprised Turin expands to the right side first, considering the majority of the max is on the left side for him. Or at least a bigger amount.
That is an interesting choice. Maybe he's worried that Yudi will think he's going to drop left side and then proxy to the right.
Maybe.
No. Absolutely not. But we can believe. can dream. Meanwhile, Yudi's just having a nice time dropping the right side.
So Yudi is dropping a lot more, well, risky, I would say, but considering he was the one looking to transport, it works out. Like, he splits his engineers a lot more. Reclaim more. Like, he's not rushing factories for safety.
How is there not a single bomber on this map right now?
And that's a big question. Turin's transports, he's gonna drop on the right side. That's okay.
Again? Alright, I guess he wants to proxy.
He's just gonna make more transports, by the way, which is good. I was about to say, he needs to drop the left side as well.
Yeah, like, this is a 20-kilometer map. The travel time, even in a transport, is quite substantial. You need multiple. Although I do like Turin's scouting. This is pretty nice scout coverage. He sees a lot of what he needs to know. Meanwhile, Yudi is just having a great time scaling, almost to 1k power by minute 5.5. Turin down at 600 power.
That's a lot, yeah. Sadly, he got the classic disease of the map isn't sentenced, so I don't prep my air HQ at all, so it's in the middle of his base.
Yep, that's where the air HQ goes, right next to the hydro, the mexes.
And any future adjacency is gonna be hard. Like, if he just put it on the left of the hydro, it's fine, but here it's... Well, it's gonna get one tech to PGen adjacent, but the other can't be, and then he needs to kill the factory for T3 PGen, and it's just...
Sorry, this is... a mess. This right here, this is 1v1. We don't do that. We don't.
It's always funny to me when people like, well, you did a good example because he plays Sentence a lot, of course, but like it's like the Sentence RBO is like autistically, like to such an autistic degree. It's like pixel perfect placement and like ooh I'm gonna try something new this time. I'm gonna choose a different path for my engineers to go through the trees. Maybe this is one is like 0.2% more efficient, and then it's non-sentence, and then it's just like this.
Yudi is perfectly not scouting the proxy. It's amazing. I'm watching all these interceptors, this air scout.
Oh my god, yes.
See, like it's about to scout it and then it turns around. And the radar perfectly doesn't see it.
That's so unlucky.
Oh, like he sent 3 NTs over here to scout this location because I think he might have noticed a transport, but he's just
Yudi, however, did rush tech to land and is making places. So he does have this potentially to stop the proxy from doing too much damage.
Yeah, but they're not that close. They're all the way back at HQ.
That's proxy. If it does too much damage, it's gonna make him very salty.
And that's how the reverse sweep happens.
Exactly.
Oh, it's all coming together.
Yudi is massively stalling.
Oh, one NG finds it.
Uh-oh.
And then she just walks into this proxy.
Uh-oh.
It's like, hello, how you doing?
Uh-oh. Is there a response yet?
Alright, the blazes...
Yudi is rushing tech to air. The thing is, like, there's still barely any reclaim grabbed, simply because it's so spread out everywhere. And that's why I was saying, like, this map is so hard to play simply because of the reclaim spreads. Like, unironically, if you want to play it optimally, you have to have like 3 transports and mainly drop engineers everywhere. That's like the quote-unquote correct way to play, or at least it's a very efficient way to play it. So Turin is gonna be a lot later on T3 Air. He actually doesn't have his first PGen finished yet, and he at the bottom left doesn't have a single factory. He cancelled. All the engineers are moving to the right side. They're all going into the transport for some reason. What is that? He fucked up brutally.
Oh yeah, he messed up the order. This is unfortunate.
So that's awful for him. Like, his expansion on the left is very bad. He's also floating to their mast. He queued up 25 knockdowns. I think that's a bit overkill. Also, he purposely decided to not get tech to PGen adjacency by placing it in the way of a future tech to PGen, but still not making it adjacent, which is very nice.
You'll love to see it.
I mean, you should just make like 2 or 4 notas, and then go T3 air. Yuri is about to be T3 air, but his tech 2 pigeons die in one shot to 2 Notas if Ground fires in between. So it's actually... the Notas will be brutal.
If they get through, Yudi has pretty great intel coverage of all paths to his base. So maybe he's fine. Maybe this is fine. I mean, the Blazes are doing some work to clean this stuff up. Turin is actually ahead in mass income, which is interesting. In part because Yudi's losing a lot of these mixes.
Also, Turin rushed a few tech. He has 6 tech 2 mixes. Reclaim wise, Yudi is double on Turin though. Turin is on 12, 13k, Yudi is on 25k. So Yudi is doing a way better job. And if you look at the engineer spreads, like especially at the top right compared to Turin at the bottom left, you see a big difference.
Oh god, yeah, Turin does not have enough engies in the right spots. Like, the entire bottom left needs 30 more engineers.
Okay, that's a hard rush from Yudi. That should clear up the proxy. I think Turin over-invested in the proxy as well. It's mostly meant to be a nuisance and not to do actual critical damage. Although I guess it's hard to say, but I mean he should have like he's raiding mechs everywhere, but I feel like the last 5 factories that he made, he would have done the damage without those as well.
I don't know how I feel about Turin hanging out with his ACU in a pond in mid.
Yeah, his ACU position is questionable, to say the least.
There's a lot of Nathas now, and they're moving out, and Yudi is also sort of standing out in the middle of a field, with his air not particularly near him.
Well, yeah. He's not gonna go for the ACU snipe though, is he?
He could. It would probably work. Like, he's got 8 Nathas. And that is an ACU without air control or protection.
No, Yudi sees it coming now.
Alright, but the Natha's going for the main base.
He's rushing a Sam, but... at the minimum, both tech 2 pigeons die. Yudi is already stalling... He's going for the tech 3 pigeon and... okay. Wow. That was the worst possible attack from Turin.
He's killed nothing! And now the Sam's up.
I mean, he's gonna kill both pigeons. I hope.
Commander under attack.
Yes.
Alright, he kills both pigeons. The
But
T3 is
there's a third
dead.
pigeon, but he didn't ground fire in between, and there's still another pigeon. The Sam is online though, and it kills everything.
Yeah, alright, now he's got his second T2 pigeon up. Natha hits the HQ. Out of spite, I guess.
This is what I was saying. If he just made 2 Notas and then rushed his own tech 3, then he could have killed 2 pigeons and delayed Judy's air by quite a bit like that. But Judy's still, like, you can also rebuild on the rack, right? He has 3 tech 2 pigeons. He has... he has built 9 tech 3 engineers. Maybe slightly overkill, but it is what it is. Yudi is wisely moving back with his ACU. He did take some damage. I think Turin just targeted his ACU for fun.
More Nathas are flying across. It bombs nothing.
But every single Nota is going to the only place on the map with the Sam. That Sam has 4k mass kill, dude.
Yeah, there's
Like,
T2 mexes out on the map. Just go kill those.
Like the strength, like on this map, it's so hard to defend. Like imagine if like there's one Nota on the left, one on the right, and then from time to time there's all the raids everywhere. You just like spread them around to make it as annoying as possible to deal with them.
Yudi has built a very large land army. And he can probably do a lot with it because all those places can just sort of walk across the map.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad considering. I mean, Turin is gonna be roughly equal to Yudi in air because he did finish his tech 3 air. He's making his PGen. He's gonna be slightly behind, but
I mean,
you know,
he's
it's
got a
gonna be kinda
mass...
fine.
He has a mass income lead, slightly.
But yeah, but the income is irrelevant because Yudi has 45k reclaim, while Turin has 23k, and that's the big issue. Yudi just did an amazing job at reclaim compared to Turin.
And he's taken all that reclaim and he's built a giant army with it.
The huge issue is Turin has no lands. Like he doesn't even have tech 2 lands while Yudi is spamming harps, and you need harps in this map. Well, not harps, you need land on this map. Because, like, he doesn't even have a counter to these blazes now. And you know, if he has air, all the harps have to go through the big choke points, so at least you would think maybe set up defenses there, but no. The issue of turn is going to the left side, which is questionable.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's just wandering around. The Blazes are trying to do stuff, but there is a lot of factories on pure Natha spam. Which I guess will clean that up eventually.
I mean, you should go gunship spam.
That would be probably better.
It would definitely be better. Duty's making some transports, probably for harp drops.
Yeah, you
So
got
once
these harps.
Get dropped on like the bottom right and bottom left, it's insanely hard to deal with them.
What?
Oh, these blazes, they're clumped up and they're gonna die to tech bomb bombers. Yikes. Oh.
The punishment. It's here. It finally got here.
His last blaze gets obliterated.
Beautiful.
Allowed to leave behind reclaim. So, Turin, there's one gunship on him, so now he has to leave.
Well, he has to leave, but he doesn't want to.
Turin, don't die here to this dumb.
If he dies here to a single gunship, I swear.
Turin is floating 4k mass, by the way. He has 27 intis and 4 ASF. Yudi has 2 more ASF but 20 less intis, so Turin actually has air control. Well, it's very even, but roughly Turin has air control, let's say.
I mean, Turin shot down a transport with 2 harbs in it that was coming over to his ACU, so that's a good pickup. Alright, there's actually more gunships coming over here. He could die.
Turin is now massively stalling. He did make a second PGM, but he's hard assisting his. I mean, he's not bringing his air over.
He doesn't care. Why is the air not coming over to save his life?
Commander under attack.
Alright, I think maybe he's fine. He's close to the water. There's torps incoming.
I mean, the thing is, the more Judy invests into trying to snipe him, the bigger Turin's chances. But now Turin just suicides 2 ASF to kill 1 gunship.
Not ideal. Also, is there a strat
What
somewhere? I
the
keep
heck?
hearing it.
I don't understand. Why would you do this?
He's like, oh.
The moment, and now he loses more ASF.
Oh.
He lost 5 ASF to kill 5 gunships.
Yeah,
Now
I mean,
he
he's
went
underwater.
underwater.
What's the threat?
Now he can actually die to torps after that move. Judy is on 5 tech-free air factories. Turin is on 1. While his 1 is heavily assisted, it's not gonna be enough.
I mean,
Judy is also making more T3 land support factories. Like, the only advantage from Turin is that he actually has more mass income. Although he is getting raided more now by harps. And
alright, well, look at this. Yudi just threw all his ASF away into the Inti cloud. They're all dead.
What? There are too many intis?
There are too many Intis. Turns 1 air back.
Turin is doing also RT drops, by the way, across the map, and he killed quite a numerous amount of tech to maxes with them.
Oh, and there's a strat.
Yeah, there's a strat on the top right. That's maybe the one you heard. It's just been chilling and killing maxes. But, you know, Turin still doesn't have an answer to these tech free lands if he doesn't have air. Turin is stalling 200 mass per second. Judy is stalling 3000 E per second. Nice.
I mean, we gotta remember that Turin still does have an economic advantage here. Yudi isn't really making very good use of his land. They're doing a bit of raiding, but I mean, overall, I think Turin's getting more harassment in.
It's kind of true. But the reclaim is really a big deal. 75k for Judy, 30k for Turin.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. But what is the play from both of these players now?
I mean, you have to keep in mind, of course, that's at the cost of having this. Actually, no, Turin has more engineers than Judy does. Tech 1, that is. No, that's not true. It's 200 engineers from Judy. I thought it was 100.
But just look at the reclaim. There's so much just all over Turin's side of the map, and Yudi has done a much better job of cleaning stuff up.
Like the top right is almost completely free of reclaim. Well, the top bottom left, there's 25k left.
Another
A
air
single
fight.
RT. Oh, almost missed that.
Looks like
That's
Judy
a
has
massive
so
thing.
much more.
Judy has way more. Yeah, Turn is abandoning it. The single RT at the top right is gonna kill all the mexes.
the cost effectiveness. You love to see it.
I think it killed. Well, I guess the strat was there as well.
The strat helped.
It did help.
Alright, another air engagement closer to Turin's base. No Sam over here.
Wait, what's the Judy air move? That must have been a misclick. There's no Sam. Ooh, that's quite bad micro from Turin. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I mean, I still... No, Judy's gonna win it because of the bad micro from Turin. Turin just rushed the T2 max in his main base, by the way. 2 of them.
He did. He hasn't even capped his T2 maxes, but he's got a T3.
By the way, there's no way Turin should have lost this air fight this badly. It was... His turn was abysmal. Also, the Notas he has there, they have not been participating, which is actually pretty important, because Notas are like Janus with the AA, and they tank while the ASF shoot down enemy ASF.
Alright, these blazes, though, are starting to do really serious damage. Like, over on this right side, they're just going to kill everything. Over on the left side, they're killing T2 maxes.
Well, the thing is, Turn is kind of countering it by making a score maxes into Tech 3 instead of making more Tech 2 maxes. There's more RT drops and Notas at the back of GD's base, by the way.
They're still here?
Yeah, I mean, Turn just keeps sending random Notas, which is actually like just an attack move, which is a fine move to do.
He mercied them. He mercied the T1.
I saw the mercy, yeah.
Take that. Most honorable mercy.
Now there's 6 harps coming for Turn's main base, and what's the counter?
10 million Nafas?
Look at the air grids from Turn, by the way.
Do I want to? I did not. Oh.
That's filthy.
Calling this a grid is false advertising. Alright, here come the Harbs into the main base. There's not really any defenses here other than the Nafas and some T1 bombers. Is that enough? Oh, you just gotta bring his air, so these guys actually can survive.
And he can dodge Notas with it because they're harps, so I think this is game. There's no counter to the harps.
Yeah, I mean, he could try to rush some T2PD here to protect his core mechs, but yikes.
The air fight is again very even, but Judy will slightly win. If there was a single Sam mate, Turin would have had air.
Well, Turin has a single Sam way in the back of his base.
Oh, there. Okay,
it's
I guess
helping.
Oh, wait, he will actually kind of win it. But the thing is, he's still making Notas and not gunships, and gunships are so much better at dealing with something like this. Especially if, like micro harps, they take no damage from Notas, plus ASF kill Notas faster than they kill gunships because they can stay behind them.
He loses the T3 mechs. The Harbs are just fine. They can sort of walk around and kill more T3 pigeons.
They can go to the bottom and kill all the power.
They can kill whatever they want. The Artie has been brought in to deal with the Harbs.
It's to debate them. And bombers are not dropping because Harps are being microed, of course. The one T2 pigeon goes down, he has 3 left, but one more will surely fall.
Alright, there's one T2PD now. That's not enough.
You think so?
I think it might be just slightly insufficient to deal with the magnitude of the threat we've got over here.
Actually, there's 4. That's enough to chase them away.
Okay, I didn't see those other 3. Yeah, like they can't actually go into that now.
And Turin still has 4 pigeons. He made 2 new ones because he expected them to lose those. But it's not gonna get bad because he still doesn't have air.
I mean, he needs a SAM and he needs T2PD in his core base. Like,
he has the SAM, but it's in the worst place possible. And he didn't make Tech 2PD in his main base.
Yeah, like he needs to protect all these T3 mexes. And
I mean, this is...
There's more Harbs coming in, and Blaze is going to the right, and all sorts of bad things.
Well, actually, Judy's massively stalling. Wait, look at Judy's egg! Look at Judy's crit! It all died!
Wait, what? What?
What?
What happened to this? Oh, there's an arty drop. There was an arty drop
Did
here.
an arty drop kill everything?
It killed his entire grid?
Oh my god!
Oh, chat's gonna... That's gonna go crazy. I didn't even notice. I was too busy watching Turn's
chat.
base die.
What the fuck is that?
Alright, he's got like T2 NGs in this main mix. Why haven't they built PD?
That's gonna trigger Judy so hard.
He just loses his entire grid.
I mean, he is still fine. He still has a he has 3 electric regions.
And Turn loses his other T3 max.
I mean, that's the least of his worries, because the reclaim that's in front of his base is you know, enough to rebuild quite a few of them. The issue is he has no counter to these harps because he has no T3 land, and he's just perma spamming bombers and not that, and well, he doesn't have air.
He's like trying to T2 PD creep back into his own main base.
Yeah, that's. But the harps is still. How much mass do they have killed? 2k, 10k, 3k, 6k, 9k.
I'm willing to say they were cost effective.
I feel like the ones that show little mass killed just show little mass because that's how vetting works. When they kill an expensive target, they only can get 1 vet at most. They probably have way more kills than that as well.
Alright, finally the harps are getting cleaned up.
Turn can die to the harps.
I mean, there's not much of a main base left here right now, but the harps
it's
have to
you.
leave.
Oh yeah, so see, never mind.
Alright, so Turn... I don't know if I can call this stabilizing. But
I wouldn't say so.
he's better than he was.
Judy has an Omni now. You know what he needs to do? He needs to make some random take to PDs in his air grid.
Just to deal with like all this RD, he needs to take a page from the book of like Tex versus Swkoll. Always build their respect PD and flak.
I mean, it's unironically for maps like this, it's actually good to always do that. Because it's like I said, like it's such a there's so much stuff happening everywhere at once. It's hard to deal with everything, and it's easy to miss something. And you might as well make a few PDs and then be safe, and not get such a crucial like kill. Because I mean, he lost, what was it, 4 of his 5 PDs, I think, when the drop happened. I mean, by the time I noticed, he already rebuilt 1 extra and was working on a turret, but I think that delayed him quite significantly. Although it's still, like, he has 50 harps out on the field, it's 16 ASF. Turn has 4 ASF and 30 phobos. Also 30 tech-on bombers, and that's it. It's 50 harps versus 30 phobos and 30 bombers.
I mean, what's really killing Turn here is that he's lost all of his outlying T2 mexes. Like, that was most of his economy, and now it's just all gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a game now. The no T3 lands is just too brutal. I'm not sure why he decided to not bother with it. Also, the lack of reclaim, of course, really...
There's
suffered.
still lots of early game reclaim here. And yeah, Turn will just call it. GG. UD wins the semifinal. 3-0. Over Turn. Lots of 3-0s today, Farms.
Nah.
It happens. But you know what that means? That means the final and the bronze match are going to be great. This
Yes.
is the rule of FAF. Either the semis are sweeps or the finals are sweeps. Never both. So it'll be fine. But I feel like Turn could have won this. He was ahead economically for so long.
I mean, you have to keep in mind that he was ahead because UD made actual land units.
Well,
But
maybe, yeah. Like
I mean,
the proxy did good harass. He killed UD's air grid. He killed tons of early T2 maxes. He stratted a bunch of stuff.
it's true his aggression was good, especially like the Nodas and the RT drops. It's just that on the back of that, his macro was just lacking because his reclaiming was bad, and the fact that he decided to not make T3 lands was the worst mistake in the game.
Also, maybe Sarah's just not particularly good here because you don't have a good T3 land option.
I disagree.
You think Othams are good enough?
I mean, of course they're not the best, but they're still fine. The issue, I mean, the good thing about Sarah is his harassment, which worked. Like Nodas and Phobo drops, that's what worked great for him. And yeah, like Autumns are worse than Harps, but you still, you know, if you have, like, they can still fight each other. It's just that Harps are faster, which is the main issue. But it's not like it's the worst matchup in history.
It definitely isn't.
It's not like you have Percy's against Loyas.
I'm just going over to look at these odds, and it's 99% for Yudi.
Nice.
That's brutal.
But yeah, like, I think Sarah's fine. He just needed to make enough lands, and the thing is, if he had actual land units, he didn't need to waste 3 air factories, 3 tech 3 air factories spamming Notas and bombers instead of ASF, and because of that he lost air as well, and then because of that long term he couldn't deal with the Harps either. Because if he actually went full, like just had some lands and then just went full air, then you actually would have had more air than Judy, like relatively speaking, because Judy of course invested way more mass into Harps, and then he can just have some gunships to kill the Harps. But yeah, that didn't happen.
Many things did not happen. Alright, well, that's gonna conclude our coverage of the round of 8 and semifinals for today. We will be back tomorrow at 14 UTC for the bronze match and finals. So first up will be Shen versus Turin in their best of 5 for 3rd place. And then after that, it will be Yudi versus SB, fighting over the grand prize of $175, 16 lots points, an avatar, and of course, most importantly, bragging rights.
Nowadays, that's 28 kebabs.
28 kebabs. Wow, kebab inflation. What can you do?
What can be done?
Absolutely nothing. That's what. Alright, so I'd like to thank Grimplex for helping TD today. And
no, wait a minute. He is the one that abandoned you during the group stage, right? This was his making up, okay? So he doesn't need to be thanked.
Oh, okay. I guess I retract my thanks to Grimplex. I will merely say we're even now.
This was his punishment.
He was sentenced to being a tournament director. There's no worse fate. But yeah, thanks for coming and co-casting with me, Farms.
You're welcome.
And Rawi would like to remind all of you that these games will be posted to the FAF YouTube channel. So if you missed some, you can go back and watch our coverage there, or all our games are archived.
If you want to watch a certain 5-kilometer map game properly, maybe it will work better when watching it on YouTube.
No, just go watch UD stream. It's fine. Alright, but let's see. Yeah, come back tomorrow, 14 UTC, for the last bit of coverage for the 2023 Spring Invitational. It'll be hype. And I think that's everything. You got anything, Farms?
I'm hungry.
Alright. We will see you tomorrow after Farms is eaten. Adios.